Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Bitcoin takes a massive hit and the traditional stock market stands its ground. The world is bracing for a level of uncertainty we haven't seen in a long time. We're diving deep into the charts right now to figure out if this divergence is the final warning sign or the ultimate opportunity. So buckle up because things are about to get spicy. Let's get into it.
JJ's got the keys to the blockchain breeze. He's live every day, decode the mazes. JJ's cryptic corner where the coins keep turning. Log in now, the future's burning. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. Pixels glow, charts flow. Crypto whispers, secrets show. He cracks the code on this winding road. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic. Tune in, lean back, grab your coffee, hit the track. JJ's live, don't be late. Cryptic wisdom, seal your fate. JJ's cryptic.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Happy Thursday. I almost forgot what day it was again. Let's see. Hey, what's going on, guys? We got a poll. I forgot to do the poll during the music. My bad. Bear with me for one moment here. What's going on, Tom South Scout, Franco, Gourmet, Mr. Philly? Appreciate you guys for being here. I am going to do the poll. We are still in the bunker because I don't trust any of these words that these people are saying. Will we see troops on the ground in Iran before it's all over? So not any specific time frame besides the end of the conflict. Very curious. Yes, plan all along. No, Trump, not that dumb. Yes, it'll be fast though. Or no, peace very, very soon. Let me know what you guys think. Poll in the chat. Evening, Mr. Waterfly. Thank you for joining. Troops already on ground, JJ. Are they really? Maybe I missed it. Is that what this was? All right. Bitcoin currently trading at $66,879.15. Let's go refresh our liquidation heat map and see where we're at. I feel like I haven't been on stream in like a week. It's weird. It's freaking me out. Coffee's delicious, as always. Looks like weekend liquidity. Today was the last trading day as well, so that actually makes sense. 66,472. Tomorrow was Good Friday. This is the wrong chart. 66,472. Bam. 66,472. That is the top of the bottom. That's not what I wanted to do. Next, we've got... I'm going to go all the way down, just because I can. 63,396. And then the bottom of the top, we've got 67,446. And the top of the top, we're going with 69,856. All right, there we have it. That is the range that we have been allotted from Mr. Market Maker himself for the 3-day weekend, Good Friday, Saturday, and Easter Sunday. Regardless of whether or not you celebrate, the stock market does not. Or at least the stock market does not participate. So tomorrow is a no trading day. It's going to be a chill time. Gold is up, or gold is down actually, 1.72% on the day. We got a dump followed by a minor recovery. Oddly enough, very, very, very closely reflecting. I wonder if I could pull the same fractal from this. So on silver, I actually pulled this whole play right here. I shrunk it down, and that is what this is. And that almost perfectly played out, just to a less muted point. There's a little more volatility here. The shrunken down version, you get all the same moves, and that's pretty much what played out. So if this tops before breaking like 77 and it goes down, it might go down pretty hard if it's going to follow. And we've looked the other day, we've seen this pattern. It's very similar to all the other patterns. It's a distribution pattern, very, very similar to how everything else is played out. And it does not go the same way every single time, so it could very easily break above 77 and continue to pump from there. It's just an idea. Did I just delete that? What has happened? Okay. Don't want to lose my fractal. So yeah, gold, 46.76. Minor recovery off of 46 support. I guess let's see if we reject the moving average on the RSI. What's interesting is March 13th was the last day money flow was positive. This green line. And then it's been negative ever since, but today, was it just strictly today? Yeah, today, Thursday, we flipped positive and we've stayed positive after this dump. So that's interesting. Let's see if that actually results in some decent upside from there. Did gold just bottom? That'd be pretty cool, especially considering the fact that we perfectly bounced off of my 42.50 arbitrary support level. Silver, on the other hand, $73 at the moment. We bounced off of 70-ish. Not that bad. Rejected, I'm going to call it 75. We went a little bit above. I think we rejected 76 almost perfectly. But I'm going to say we rejected 75. My next question is, are we going to use this bounce opportunity to actually continue to the upside, or are we just going to reject once we get back up to that 76 level and continue down? Hopefully silver bottoms with gold. Otherwise, I suppose I would look for 60 for the next psychological level. What if I said markets closed till Monday should be interesting or super slow? Probably a mix of both. It's going to be interesting while we're all sleeping. The ISM PMI came in 52.7. We talked about that. That's very exciting stuff. The economy allegedly is expanding, which is pretty cool. DXY 100.023. We kind of were expecting this. I wasn't sure what level we were going to bounce off of, but the repeated attempts to get above and stay above 100 are not lost on me. We've got very frequent rejections. We got 1, 2, 3, technically 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, that's what we'll call it. We got 6 rejections so far. I guess this we're still waiting to see if it's number 6. But if we get above and stay above 100, then the value of your dollar is going to increase. So that's the whole thing. The whole Middle East situation is kind of throwing a wrench in the trade, as it were, where the dollar value decreases. So pretty much anything valued against the dollar basically increases. It's the easy button of investing, if you will. Tom Selleck's Goat said, got around, but nothing has changed. Once the war is over, up we go. Glad I loaded defensive stocks, as this Trump spending bill going to pump that stuff. That's true. What if I said markets closed till Monday? Yep, we read that. Gourmet said, hi guys. Philly said, hello, JJ. What's going on, Philly? Appreciate you guys. Don't forget to smash the like button. Dow Jones down 0.13% on the day, 46,503. Are we going to do what the fractal is looking for with our initial bounce and then a failure and then our final capitulation to the downside before slowly grinding out of it towards August, September? pretty spicy. Is Q2 going to be a complete bummer? I don't know. NASDAQ really following this fractal. I think we just pulled this one the other day. It has not, or maybe I squeezed it. That's what I did. It was a deeper drop before. So we'll see if this continues to potentially play out. It looks pretty good so far. Actually, it looks really good. Like, freakishly good. This downturn right here. Unfortunately, we got to wait till Monday to see what plays out next. Unless futures... I don't think futures trade. Do they? I don't know. Let's see what happens, though. 24.36, current level. If it stays above 24, great. If not, that'll be another psychological hurdle to get over. RSI looks okay. RSI actually looks kind of spicy on a lot of these. S&P up 0.11% on the day. Stock market held up quite nicely. We got our two fractals that we're still observing for the S&P. Really nothing really has changed. I think Tom Solixco kind of nailed it. Nothing has changed as of right now. We got a lot of people speculating on Trump's speech last night, talking about how long we're in other wars, and this one he's expecting another 2 to 3 weeks, and he said we're gonna like obliterate them or something, send them back to the Stone Age. So he said a bunch of not good things when it comes to investing, at least in the short term, if you want your number to go up. If you want it to go down to dollar cost average, then he said a bunch of great things. You're probably in a good mood right now. So what's interesting about the S&P is, on the 4-hour at least, it was incredibly oversold, and we had this very uniform, you could see on the momentum wave on Market Cipher and on the RSI in general, very, very uniform drop right here, which we got to bounce off of. The question is that bounce going to recover slowly from this trench leading into, looks like 2027? Or are we going to go for a broader double bottom leading into September and then climb out of it going into 2027? That's the ultimate question right now. Neither of them could play out. It's possible that neither of them plays out, but so far, these two look pretty decent. NVIDIA is up 0.93% on the day. Currently trading at 176.68. The NVIDIA fractal I'm not entirely sold on. I don't actually recall pulling this either. Is this literally just from right here? Yes, it is. Look at that. Is it going to play out the same way that it's played out in the past? It's entirely possible. And again, we are expecting some deviations. History, rhymes, all that fun stuff. You know, the typical word salad that YouTubers throw at you. At least I don't have a perpetually expiring coupon code. I will say that. That would be pretty funny. Maybe I should do like a paid membership, but the coupon code is free, and it's always like it makes the entire membership free. And I just talk about it expiring tomorrow every single day. I tell you guys that it's gonna expire tomorrow, but it never expires. That'd be kind of funny. Oh man. Butterfly said, more votes than likes. That's gay. Oh damn. We got 6 votes. There's 9 people watching. We have less than 6 likes. That's crazy. I asked you guys, will we see troops on the ground in Iran before it's all over? 33% of you guys said no, Trump's not that dumb. 50% have said yes, it'll be fast though. 17% said no, peace very, very soon. Interesting. All right, so let's see what NVIDIA does. Are we going to get back above 180, or is this a final attempt before failing and going down to 150? Tesla. Oh, Tesla had a big fall. 361.23 at the moment. Point of interest is 362. I think we talked about it yesterday. Somebody mentioned people positioning for the SpaceX IPO. Now, this is a point of previous resistance, potentially turned support. This will be the first time we've tested this level since breaking above it. So if it holds, that would be great. If not, it's going to get a little spicy. MicroStrategy, aka Big B Coffee. The reason I call it Big B Coffee is because Michael Saylor is actually he's obsessed with Asian culture, and Big B is revered as a godlike deity over there, and it means prosperity. And he wants his MicroStrategy Bitcoin thing to be prosperous, so he stole their logo. And I think he actually got sued and lost. Saeed said, hi, sir. How you doing, Saeed? Happy Friday for you. Happy Good Friday. Regardless of whether or not you celebrate, I hope you have a good day. Are we supposed to celebrate Good Friday? I actually don't know anything about it. I probably should. Anyway, strategy. Playing around with this upper trend line. Previous support from way back here where it sent gigasent to a like crazy macro all-time high. This is the first time we've tested that since breaking it, so this could be a ginormous pattern playing out. That would be pretty cool. We will see. I do kind of like scooting the fractal. I'm not going to do it though. We're going to leave it. Let's see if this becomes the bottom and we actually have a nice climb out of this area afterwards. 120, nice psychological level. Worst case, we're going down to 100 to see if we hold that. We got it right here. See if we do a double bottom down there. We are almost oversold though, and we are technically, potentially, if we get a bounce as well, we will for sure solidify some bullish div. And we got a confirmed green dot on market cipher on the 4-hour time frame too. Not sure if that's really relevant, but we're going to point it out anyways. Bitcoin dominance, 58.6, slowly climbing after holding, I don't know, the arbitrary level of 58.3. Are we going to get above 59 next is the question. This is, however, I guess to our benefit, a bearish continuation pattern. So if this continues to break down, that could bode well for our altcoins. So let's see where that takes us. Bitcoin itself down 0.57. What do we think is Easter? Let's ask Grok. That's a good question. Historically, how does Easter play out for markets? The stock market, the metals market, and the cryptocurrency market. Is Easter weekend usually bullish, bearish, or just a sideways nothing burger? What do you think? Got to try to maximize our output here. All right, let's see what Grok says. So yeah, Bitcoin's chilling. We might be liquidating some bulls here pretty soon. We're very close to that liquidation point. ETH down 0.53%, also kind of plummeting after rejecting this purple trend line. We're dancing in between 21 and 2K. Holding 2K, again, top priority for Ethereum. If we lose that level, it's going to get pretty spooky, but it won't be the end of the world. We've just been kind of struggling to hold that to begin with, and the fact that we're back above it and attempting to hold it. See back here, we were struggling. Now we're holding. We want to continue to hold. Otherwise, that weakness re-entering the price action is not great. It's kind of like a relapse of poor stability. So we'll see what happens though. Like I said, 3-day weekend. There either is not going to be a lot of liquidity, or maybe they'll utilize the weekend to manipulate the price in one direction or the other. Solana's up 0.14% on the day, currently trading at 79.05. Can we get back above 80? Gourmet said, "You making up Big B stories at this point?" No, they're all true. Every single one of them is factual. Look it up. Ask Grok. Okay. Solana 79.05, 80 psychological level. We have, this is what my concern with ETH. We have this level. I guess it's 82 right here, but we're going to call it 80 for now. It's psychological. Psychological level of 80. We failed to hold it back here. We got above. We finally held, and we held, and we held, and now we're failing. And are we going to reject? Hopefully not, but you never know. I don't really know what else to say about this. We got a green dot of the momentum wave pointing to the upside. 75 is going to be the next psychological level. The wicks are nice, indicative of buying pressure, but there's also wicks indicative of selling pressure. So I suppose we're looking for maybe a range in between 80 and 85? I don't know. Jay Shear said, "Sup family?" What's going on, Jay Shear? Cheers, my friend. Total 3 is down or up. It is just at 0. It's basically sideways. Currently sitting at 693.9 billion. It's very sad, actually, to see this go below 700 billion. Again, same pattern on pretty much all of these coins. We had a level that we were struggling with. This one's going to be 700. We were struggling, couldn't hold, and then got above it, held it, and we held it, and now we're breaking below it. We don't want to break below it. That's bad. Jishu said it. We love the Big B stories. They're all 100% factual. I only actually get them from the Library of Congress. That's where I get my baby information. So, what's up with that, Gourmet? 694 billion. Let's see. I guess what was our grand support back then? 640 random. What's this pink line? I want to try to justify what's going on here. We got resistance turned support-ish. That's sloppy. Hold on, let me see if I can adjust it now that we have a more solid line. That's still kind of sloppy though. I'm not entirely sold on it. I don't know. Maybe 600. We could cut off 500 at this point, man. So previously, I'm going to leave that pink line wherever the heck it was. Previously, I pointed out this head and shoulder. Head and shoulder. And the target for that is, in fact, 540. Are we going to go down and hit 540? I hope not, but you never know. It's entirely possible. Nothing's impossible. We got a classic breakdown here. Neckline broke, failed, continued to the downside. I don't know. ADA. It is a 0.13%. Oh my gosh. There's so many lines. I just got to clear this thing out, dude. That's too many. That's ridiculous. That's how you know you've reached max copium. Is when there's just 1,000 lines on the chart. 88 said, looks like Tony Montana's table. Right. Crypto Spaces said, sub chat, Ben Cowan is wrong. We pumped a new all-time high in April. Oil is in surplus, not a shortage. Money printing will be next level, even more than the pandemic. Bull run mode. I like it. Cheers. Cheers to that. Cheers to that. My favorite thing on the planet would be Ben Cowan being wrong. And then he would be like, well, technically. Cheers. He would have some plausible deniability. He's not a stupid guy. Anyways, ADA, below 25, it's a sad day. Are we going to reject 24 and continue down further? I'm going to say yes, just because the structure here has been lost entirely. Lost and abandoned. So, let's see where she goes. Let's see where she goes. Beautiful Easter resurrection, perhaps, for our altcoins. I don't know. SNEC holding up better. Glad I'm not a Cardano person. I'm a SNEC guy, so great. Up 1.66%, currently trading at 43.39. Can we get back above 5 in the long term or in the short term? I don't know. Hopefully, but we'll see what happens. We got a nice bottoming inverse BART here, hopefully. That'd be cool if that ended up being the Pico low. Midnight, up 1.68% on the day. They're struggling to manipulate this to the upside, and it is consolidating, so I suspect there's going to be a violent move in one direction or the other. I like that it's above 4. I like that it's above 4 or 5. Can it get above 5? It's really struggling to get above 5 and hold above 5, so that's going to be the next story right there. You got resistance, resistance, fake out, resistance. Can we get above and hold above 5? That's a question. Waterfly said we may dump or we may pump. That is actually true. I've seen it myself. Jay Shear said, did we see our boy Harambe yet? Did I miss it? No. So I do have another reminder on my calendar coming up for Harambe. When is that actually? Let me see. I can show you guys. I will prove that I have a reminder on my calendar for Harambe. It is right April 10th. It says check Harambe price DCA a little. And let me go, I guess, the whole cam? Yeah. Check Harambe price DCA a little. If you guys are interested in being degenerate gamblers, sign up for CalSheet with my link in the description. Deposit and trade with $25 or more, and we'll both receive $25 in non-withdrawable site credit. It's a lot of fun, but it is gambling, so treat it as such. CoinMarketCap Fear and Greed yesterday apparently was at 28. Today it's at 28 as well. CoinGlass is at 10. Extreme Fear. CoinGlass has been a lot more fearful than CoinMarketCap. And then the stock market Fear and Greed is at 15, which is Extreme Fear as well. If you guys haven't already, subscribe. Top 10. Hype got bumped out of the top 10 by Unis Said Leo, which I think is it's a patsy. I don't know. It's a weird project that came out of nowhere. Let's go check Harambe. Now, the strategy with Harambe is the only long-term strategy that we've had in play on the channel, and it's strictly based around Harambe's internet fame and his unfortunate death anniversary in May. Rest in peace, dicks out for Harambe. Respect. So, we're going to try to capitalize on that, because we are degenerate. Only when it comes to meme coins, specifically. But RIP. So yeah, it's pretty steady. We'll see if it does anything, honest. Midnight, we talked about XRP is down 0.49%. I'm fully expecting XRP to go to $1 at this point. Let me check the chat again. Crypto Spaces said it would be my favorite thing too. He's been right too much. Market needs to humble him. Everyone gets humbled by the market. Problem I see with Ben Cowan, he has been right recently, but he was completely wrong about the last run-up. Bitcoin going to 126K. Before that happened, the entire time, he was insistent that it was going to get worse before it got better. Franco said, I bet you 2K we don't pump to all-time high in April. Make it 10K. I'm not taking that bet. Jishu said, I'll take that bet. I'll add to that bet. Crypto Spaces said, 4-year cycles are wrong. Sturch will lead us to Valhalla. Bull run mode. Hope is not a strategy. Create your own reality. Writing songs now. Time to break patterns, just like how we hit all-time high in Bitcoin before the halving. 88 said, oh my. Franco said your strategy is exactly hope, LMAO. This dude talking about hope, not a strategy. Alright. XRP, looking for $1. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Great. If not, then $1. That is my current bearish target. If we're going to get spicy, then we might as well get spicy. You know what I'm saying? H-bar potentially breaking down out of a bullish pattern, which is sad. Sweet. Bottom of the range, Ondo. Middle of the range-ish. Arrow. Bottom of the range, bearish continuation pattern at this point as well. Ascending channel. Polkadot, I'm very sad that Polkadot broke below 139. It was doing really good. It had established a bottom, broke above that, used the support, and then it lost it. So, sad to see. They were doing really good for themselves for a minute, but oh well. Avalanche, well below 9, well below 10, well below 9, 877. Can we get back above 9 and 10? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see what happens. Is this another bottoming situation like here? We get below that 950 level. We reject a couple of times, and then we eventually break above it. We've rejected once already, maybe even twice technically. So let's see what else happens. If 850 ends up holding as that arbitrary bottom, little psychological level. Chainlink, similar setup. Only on Chainlink we have a bearish continuation right here, a little ascending channel that we broke down and rejected. Is Chainlink gonna get worse before it gets better? Look for, I guess, 8 to hold for now. And if we lose that, then 750. Once we get to the really spicy parts, it's just going to be all psychological. Blockchain Bruce said, JJ Trent says you almost as tall as him. I don't know how tall Brent is. Although I've been told recently, maybe not recently, it was like a year ago, my buddy Zach was like, how tall are you, JJ? And I was like, I'm average. And he's like, really? I thought you were like 6'9". I was like, why? There was no reason behind it. For some reason, he just thought I was super tall. Franco's tweaking. Crypto Spaces said, I am not hoping. I know 4-year cycles are wrong. I know it. I am not wrong. I support the 4-year cycle being incorrect. I do. And my main reasoning behind that, now that does not dictate, oh, well, we have to have a bull market right now or anything like that. I'm not saying that. I just think the 4-year cycle is wrong because Bitcoin hit an all-time high well before the halving. And we never got any kind of alt season or anything like that. None of it played out the way that it usually does in a typical 4-year cycle. I think the 4-year cycle is out the window. I think we got an extended cycle. I think, what would be my argument here? I would be willing to argue that 2021 to 2025 was one cycle. Where's the big chart? And maybe this is dumb and silly. Maybe I don't really care. Regardless, this right here is what broke your 4-year cycle, I think. Because this from 2021 to 2024, that's not 4 years. That's 3. So, I don't know. Do with that information what you will. And then this right here, your bottom right here, 2022, is even less. That's 2 years. I'm not willing to go to war for that, but I don't really care. I think it's silly that people have to make up cute little patterns in their head. And then this guy comes out. Where is he? This guy comes out in 2023, and suddenly Ben Cowan is preaching exactly what this guy said, even though before that, in 2021, Ben Cowan insisted that there was no such thing as a 4-year cycle. I think it's kind of funny. I do like this theory. The diminishing pullback is a good theory. And it does seem that our run up takes longer every time. And our run down is shorter every time. Look at this. It went up really, really fast, and it took a long time to bleed out. It went up really, really fast, and it bled out essentially the same amount of time. Now it went up really, really slow, and it's bleeding out really, really fast. We've seen this before. We actually saw it. Where did we see it? On Total 3? Is it Total 3? Maybe it's Total Crypto Market Cap. The first one. Total Crypto Market Cap Senior. Look at all this junk. All right, let me clean this up. Well, actually, I think I've tried that before. I can't. So, if you look, we got, what is this? 2-month rise, 9-month bleed, 5-month rise, 5-month bleed, 9-month rise. And this was the idea behind here was that it was going to be a 2-month bleed. So far, this has been the only anomaly. The 9-month rise, and maybe this is a 9-month bleed. Maybe that's what it's got to be. Now, 9 months from October would put us at August, September, August. It would put us at August. Or, no, it wouldn't put it. It would put us at July. October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. June or July. So if we bottom June, July, then I'm going to sit here and claim victory on my stupid total crypto market cap. Fractal Farquaad strikes again. The squeakle. Anyways, let's get back into the charts. We got to go over the news segment anyways. There's a lot of news, even though nothing's really resulted in any of it. Franco said, boop-a-doo. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me go back. Believe in something, Franco. Franco said, my strategy in this boom-bust asset class is the chart only. This is why I took significant profits at every high last cycle. Then I cut everything else at the break of 50 moving average. 2 straight cycles. Profitable. That's all that matters, man. Waterfly said Franco did make good calls. Did he? Waterfly said the words. Hang on. Does this mean... Do I do it? I will only do it with Franco's permission. Because I've harped on it long enough, I think. Franco, you know what I'm talking about. Say the words. Yes or no. Franco said, who else can say they've got back-to-back winning cycles? Crypto Spaces said, that point JJ made I said earlier. We had all-time high before the halving. No alt season. Euphoria last year. Weakest bull run ever. Some say it wasn't even a bull run. Bull run starts this month. Franco said the bull run starts in October with the possibility that it could maybe start as early as July. Crypto Spaces said, I disagree, Franco. Too much people expect October. It can't be that easy. Sturch and Sailor leads us to Valhalla. That would be epic. 364 days from the top to bottom. 1,000 something bottom top every cycle without fail since day one. Franco said, if you want the bull run to start earlier, you need a grand capitulation first. If we just grind down lower, it's going to be not till September, October. Teacher said, Siren has rugged. Glad I didn't touch it. Would have been a good short. Well, that's upsetting. I actually think I saw the article about that, and I didn't look because I had that idea to short it. Dang it. And we could have, too. We could have shorted it. Okay, it isn't down much more from yesterday. We pretty much witnessed the rug yesterday. What a shame. This is why you got to check the holders, guys. Check the holders, check the bubble maps. If majority of the supply is in one guy's hands, it's going to probably be a scam. But I'm not a financial advisor. Let's see. Historically, Easter has been mild but notable bullish seasonal bias in the stock market leading into the long weekend, specifically the days before Good Friday. The effect is small, inconsistent over short samples, and often fades afterwards. For metals in crypto, there's essentially no established or reliable pattern. Data is either sparse or shows no consistent edge. Okay, so it's a nothing burger. And yet you have all of this to say about it. Overall verdict, bullish, bearish, or sideways nothing burger. Stocks mildly bullish. Leading into the weekend, pre-holiday lift, then usually sideways or mixed afterward. The weekend itself is non-event for trading. Metals, crypto, sideways, nothing burger, no edge, worth trading. The Easter effect is real but tiny in stocks and absent elsewhere. The holiday quirks often stem from thin liquidity, optimism bias, or just random data clustering. They've been known for decades and can weaken as more traders chase them. Okay. Let's get a clean slate. When do you think the cryptocurrency bull market will begin again? Do you follow the I guess, what do you think of the 4-year cycle? Of the 4-year cycle versus other theories like the business cycle / liquidity cycle and others. Let's see. Marco said, mistakes were made, but I was still profitable despite some bad pickups and bad pivots. Go ahead and clown JJ. It's funny. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have received permission from Franco to go over what I like to call the Franco pivot. Let us begin. I have screenshots. Mr. Franco insisted that he was going to trade. Now, where do I find this? I think I have it labeled. Franco pivot. Nope. Oh boy. All right. So Franco decided to pivot out of a bunch of assets into other assets. One of them, oh, I got it right here. Found it. All right, I got it. We're going to type it into TradingView. Let me find a clean chart. So Mr. Franco sold ADA at 0.45, sold Matic, I'm just going to put Pole because that's what they changed your freaking name to, at 0.72, bought Prime at $17, bought PAL at 35 cents, and bought GPU at 120. These current items are at approximately ADA currently. What is ADA at? ADA is pretty bad, but not as bad off as everything else, 0.23. So the lesson here will be about mitigating losses and maybe not clowning on dino coins, as you will. Polygon Matic Pole. I think this is one of the few that actually was a good sell. Pole, Binance, currently sitting at 0.09. Prime, PAL, and GPU. Franco said, lower risk ADA into absurd risk AI at bedtime. Sold Sol at the bottom because I thought SBF ruined it. See, the Sol one sucks so bad too because I talked so much crap about that one. Sol was a huge fumble on probably everyone. What prime is the right prime? I'm going to hope this one. 31.30 at 1 point. Yeah, it's got to be this one. 0.31. 0.31. Oh my gosh, Franco. Jesus. Are you okay, man? Are you good? Pal. Mistakes were made? They're all like number 800, 0.012. That one, oddly enough, is not that bad. And then GPU. Watch these come roaring back, Franco. Watch it happen. 1,500.024. Jeez. All right. I'm not going to calculate the loss because I don't think that there's a way. There's no calculator that could possibly do this. So instead of, what, 50% down, or what is 72 to 9, the losses, if you would have just held here, would have been very minimal compared to this monstrosity. So, can we say that Franco is a genius when it comes to the macro and Bitcoin specifically? Yes, absolutely. Cheers to that. That's really what matters. But when it comes to the scratch off, big money, no whammies, gambling picks, Franco sucks. But I do love him anyways. He's a good dude. Good times, good times. The moral of the story is that aggressive profit taking overcame all my mistakes. That's what matters, man. That's what matters. Franco took profit at 80K 400 times. Oh, man. I love you, Franco. That's such a good trade, though. This is a beautiful story. It really is. Echelon Prime got me, too. A lot of those, dude, they're flavor of the week coins. And what sucks, too, is you can't really pick which ones are going to be good or bad. Look at, what's the one? What is the one that keeps popping up? And it's really good. I keep forgetting the damn name. It's in like the top 20, I think, isn't it? Tau right here. This one is amazing. This one is great. Look at the performance here. This is actually a gorgeous chart. And you never would have known. Never would have known. This would have been a total gamble. You would have bought it and been like, oh, I hope it goes up. They're saying all the same things that everybody else says. And I think that's the problem, is the internet has allowed everyone to kind of present themselves as this glorious, revolutionary, like world-changing thing. And then when the glorious, revolutionary, world-changing thing actually comes around, nobody believes them. It's like this might get a little confrontational. It's like Jesus. If Jesus comes back, what's going on here? What is that? If Jesus comes back, no one's going to believe the guy. You know what I mean? It's literally just like that. No one's going to believe him. So when the right project actually comes around and they're like, hey, you know, we are the next Bitcoin. We might not flip Bitcoin, but we're going to be number 2. And even if it happens, people all the way will still scream from the rooftops that it's a scam. Nobody believes them. It's just temporary. They're going to rug any second. And it can remain number 2 for forever. And people would still be convinced because we've been so brainwashed at this point that everything's a scam. HQZ, Franco said, LOL, scratch off. Crypto Spaces said, I mean, people were bull posting Tau for a while. It's AI chain Hyperliquid 2. Franco said, everyone will know. What is that villain arc? Shit. Calm down, Franco. All right. Crypto bull market, or its next major leg, looks likely to accelerate or fully ignite sometime mid to late 2026, probably Q3 or Q4, rather than right now in early April. Bitcoin is currently trading blah, blah, blah. 4-year cycle still relevant, but fading in importance. Okay, full cycle to top ran roughly 4 years. Has been a remarkably reliable heuristic since 2012. Supply shocks, okay. Cycle 2025 rarely fit the script, somewhat late cycle peak, but 2026 was supposed to be the deep bear year under strict adherence to the model. Instead, many serious voices, Grayscale Research, Fidelity Digital, etc., now argue that the 4-year cycle is ending or has already mutated. Why Bitcoin and crypto have matured into mid-sized institutional asset classes, persistent ETF inflows, corporate treasuries. Grayscale explicitly calls 2026 the year the so-called 4-year cycle ends, with rising valuations across crypto sectors instead of the traditional post-peak collapse. Liquidity business cycle stronger framework now. I lean more toward the liquidity global macro cycle as primary explanation today, as it aligns better with what we're seeing. Bitcoin has historically topped when global liquidity peaks post 2008, QE 2017, yen devaluation 2020-21 stimulus. Arthur Hayes, Raw Paul, and others have made this case convincingly. Crypto doesn't just follow halvings, it rides waves of excess money supply, low rates, and risk-on environments. Right now, we're coming out of a period of tighter policy and higher rates that capped the 2025 upside, but several factors are lining up for a liquidity thaw. Central banks facing massive sovereign debt refinancing in 26-27, likely easier policy or outright QE to keep yields from exploding. Global M2 liquidity measures turning supportive again. Institutional flows providing a structural bid that retail-only cycles never had. The macro-driven view suggests 2026 could deliver the real or extended leg of the bull that many expected in 2025 but got delayed by tight financial conditions. Analysts like Jesse Eckel predicting 170 to 250, and others are explicitly tying 2026's potential blow-off to renewed liquidity rather than calendar math. The 4-year cycle and liquidity cycle overlapped for 3 cycles because easy money eras often coincided with halvings. That coincidence is breaking down as Bitcoin becomes more of a macro asset. Liquidity wins rather than better explanatory model growing forward. Cool. Bottom line, the pure 4-year cycle is becoming a lagging indicator, useful for context but less predictive as crypto professionalizes. Liquidity cycles explain more of the variance now and point to constructive 2026. I expect the next clear bull phase, higher highs, broader participation, altcoin rotation, to build through the summer, fall, and potentially run into 2027. With Bitcoin challenging or exceeding prior highs, 150K plus range isn't crazy in strong liquidity scenario. It won't feel like the euphoric 2021 mania, more measured institutional-led growth with sharper corrections along the way. None of this is guaranteed. If liquidity tightens instead, we could grind sideways for longer, but the weight of evidence, maturing market structure, policy setup, and historical macro correlations tilts bullish for later this year. Stay disciplined, focus on fundamentals over hype, and remember, cycles are probabilistic, not prophetic. Okay, I like it. Good word salad, Grok. 88 said, bookmark this. Dude, that would be so funny if Grok just, started to become a Twitter influencer. Hyperliquid 2, Jay Shear's cracking up. Can you check the tweet I sent in Discord, JJ, please? Crypto Spaces? The tweet you sent in Discord. Michael Saylor? Been buying on the way down. This is the most Bitcoin exposure I've had in my life. STRC introduces positive reflexivity to Bitcoin that is being underpriced by the market. Sitting in cash to buy the guaranteed Q4 bottom is a crowded trade. Believe in something. I'm going to ATM so much effing digital credit. I love it. Why I think Bitcoin bottom is in for Bitcoin. Okay. I mean, he's probably better at numbers than I am. I'll follow this guy. Give him a follow. The Humble Farmer. I know a lot of farmers that are really good at numbers. It's actually creepy how good farmers are at markets. It freaks me out. Franco said, I'm not buying alts until late in pre-halving year. Only BTC in October or as early as July of capitulation. Alts lose 90 to 99% of value in bear markets. Talking about too risky even at BTC bottom. You want to wait a year after to buy alt because BTC still outperforms them until the proper time. I don't know. I'm a DCA guy. Time in the market beats timing the markets every time. And just diversify. Crypto Spaces said, I think that's too risky, Franco. Some alts already starting to show strength like XPL and Monad. Tau and Hyperliquid as well, lighter too. Yes, that. That's my thesis. Okay, new segment. Do we have a poll running? We do. Well, let's do another poll. We got 10 votes. I'm going to end it. And then we'll do poll number 2. What is poll number 2? I thought of a really good one. I asked you guys, will we see troops on the ground in Iran before it's all over? 40% of you guys said yes, it'll be fast though. 30% said no, Trump not that dumb. 30% said no, peace very, very soon. Nobody said yes, plan all along. We got a total of 10 votes. Let's do the next poll. This one's interesting. Do you think the ISM PMI theory, I don't remember if I did this one last night, will play out? again this time. Yes, always does. No, arbitrary theory. Yes, delayed fuse. Or no, AI skewed the data. Start poll. Let me know what you guys think. If anyone's not familiar, the ISM PMI theory is that once the ISM Purchasing Managers Index hits above 50, and even above 55 is actually the big number, then the economy enters expansion phase and the bull market explodes to the upside. Crypto Spaces said oil is also a surplus. In a surplus. I can share that as well. Hope I'm not being annoying. Absolutely not. I actually enjoy the participation in the chat, so I appreciate you. Anyone wants to show anything, share some links, ideas, even if it's as long as it's not like stupid, then please, by all means, share everything. And I will tell you if it's stupid. And you'll probably feel stupid before you even send it, because it's going to be like, in order for it to be stupid to me, it's got to be pretty stupid. I'm a pretty stupid guy. Ash Crypto posted, this is very bullish. US ISM manufacturing PMI just came in at, oh, this is perfect actually. I did not plan this, I swear. Came in at 52.7%, above expectations of 52.5. This is the third consecutive monthly print above 52%, which shows that the US economy is in the expansion phase. Last time the ISM PMI had 3 consecutive prints above 52 was in Q3 2020. And here's what happened after that. Gold and silver peaked, stocks rallied hard, alts entered a mega uptrend, which lasted for 6 to 8 months. That's pretty sick. Quinton posted, data tells us this was the most obvious bear market bottom in Bitcoin history. We got the pandemic. Every time these lines cross, Bitcoin supply and profit and supply and loss, whenever they cross, we got cross number 1, we got cross number 2, and we have yet to achieve cross number 3, but they are diddling each other. Interesting. See, but they did the same thing back here, so it could just be the same exact thing where we go through another couple months of bottoming. So, I don't know. Da Vinci Jeremy. Everyone is expecting a classic 80% correction in Bitcoin, and most of them will be sidelined. Damn, how do you feel about that, Franco? Da Vinci Jeremy, the guy who literally moves the goalposts more than anybody on the planet. Ash Crypto, this is massive for the crypto market. Coinbase has now officially received OCC approval to become a U.S. trust bank. With the crypto market structure bill coming, the fundamentals are strongest they've ever been in history. Trillions will enter the market, and the next bull run will be the biggest ever in the history of the crypto market. That would be pretty cool. Can't wait. Adam Livingston, Bitcoin just flashed a signal with a 100% hit rate across 15 years of data. The Power Law Z-score just dropped to 0.93, whatever that symbol is. I backtested every single time Bitcoin reached this level of oversold. Here's what happened next. Median 12 months forward return, 631%. Worst case, 12-month return, 82%. Win rate, 100%, 7 out of 7 episodes. Best case, plus 2,500%. Read that again. The absolute floor, the worst outcome in history from buying this level, was still almost a double. For context, March 2020 pandemic crash hit this zone 1,020 in 12 months. 1,020% in 12 months. November 2022 FTX collapse hit this zone 151% in 12 months. September 2023 hit this zone 128% in 12 months. There we go. Marcha Guru, Bitcoin falls under 67K after President Trump says he will finish the job in the war against Iran. Gold crashes under 4,600, over 1 trillion wiped from its market cap today. Silver crashed under $70, falling 7% today. This was all 20 hours ago. 12 hours ago, over 777 billion wiped out from the U.S. stock market at open. Coinbase gains conditional approval for U.S. National Trust Company charter. IMF says tokenization is reshaping regulated finance. Very cool. Love it when the IMF has their fingers up my butt. Jim Cramer is a national treasure. Oil prices have topped, and they go higher. My favorite so far, if it actually happens, let's check. If oil actually has topped, it will be because Binance listed oil futures. Franco said, Da Vinci made a great call 12 years ago. Now only makes bad calls. They all do. One trick pony, my guy. That's literally Michael Burry. And he ruined it too. So Michael Burry had this thing where he did it, I think, during the pandemic as well. And maybe last year. I don't know. There's been a couple of big downturns where since The Big Short, Michael Burry will post something on X. He'll be like, lights out or something stupid like that. And then it disappears. Then at some point in the future, like months down the road, the market collapses. And then he shows back in and he's like, I told you guys. Or something gay like that. And he did that again, but he showed up before anything happened. He tweeted that. And then like a week went by and he posted something else. And he completely ruined the cool, like any little bit of coolness that he had left. I don't know. It bugs me. Michael Burry is probably the biggest one-trick pony out there. There's been like a perpetual world-ending crash since 2008. He doesn't realize that the market's gone up since then. Hyundai to invest $26 billion in the U.S. over the next 2 years, creating 25,000 new jobs. Very cool. Hell yeah, we like that. President Trump to unveil $1.5 trillion defense budget, the largest yearly U.S. military spending increase since World War II, Reuters reports. Marty Party posted stablecoin mint 10 minutes ago, another 250 million USDC issued on Solana. Rolling week, 2.83 billion. Rolling month, 9.58 billion. Very cool. Franco said, oh yeah, we read that. Crypto Spaces said he remained a perma bear. Tishu said nobody talks about SHIB anymore. Is it done forever? It's way down. Let's actually go look. I was just thinking about that the other day too. Man. See, the copium lines are hilarious when I accidentally stumble upon them. Let's go see. Where is SHIB? It's number 26. I wouldn't say it's done forever. It is like the great value brand of Dogecoin. So, didn't they? I thought they had like a whole ecosystem launched or something like that. Is that just liquidity extraction? I feel like they have the brand recognition. I think Doge is in a better position though. The difference, I suppose, is are you a degenerate gambler or are you a degenerate gambler? Dogenerate gambler, if you will. Because Doge is a household name, but it is sitting at a $13 billion market cap, whereas SHIB, kind of a household name, is only sitting at a $3 billion market cap. So there's a big difference there. $10 billion. I think that that's really the only difference if they're not going to be doing anything significant, either of them. Marty Party posted oil $112, WTI crude. Kobe, see you later. Meat and potatoes of the news segment, if you will. U.S. intelligence, this was posted April 1st, yesterday. U.S. intelligence has determined that the Iranian government is not currently willing to engage in substantial negotiations over ending the U.S.-Israeli war. Assessment says Iran believes it's in a strong position and does not have to accede to America's diplomatic demands, though it's willing to keep channels open. U.S. oil prices surge above $101 a barrel as President Trump begins to address the nation about the Iran war. Trump says U.S. military's core strategic objectives are nearing completion in the Iran war. Announces the U.S. will not be importing any oil that transits through the Strait of Hormuz in the future. President Trump threatens to strike Iran's power plants if there is no peace deal reached. Also announces that the Iran war will last another 2 to 3 weeks. I think that's the biggest blow to the market. Summary of Trump's address to the nation. The Iran war will last another 2 to 3 weeks. The U.S. will strike Iranian power plants if no deal is reached. Core strategic objectives are closer to completion in Iran. The U.S. will bring Iran back to the Stone Age. The U.S. will not import oil from the Strait of Hormuz in the future. Iran's navy is gone and the Air Force is in ruins. U.S. oil prices are surging above 103 per barrel after the speech. Franco said, oh, hang on. Crypto Spaces said I traded on SHIB as a community ruled by the SEC. So there's that. I traded on the Shiba chain. It's an L2. Doge and Shiba are ruled by the SEC as commodities officially. Tishu said you like Pengu. What about that one? I like Pengu because they have revenue. Pengu has a product with revenue. They have a whole brand. Number 87. Unfortunately, they've kind of fallen from grace price-wise, but what are you going to do? Yeah, there's Pengu's sitting at the bottom of the bottom right now. See, and they got unlocks. They got treasury unlocks. That's my biggest problem. I did not know they had treasury unlocks. It looks like they started in December 2025. So, end of last year, which almost lines up. It actually perfectly lines up. Look at this. Treasury, boop. What are they doing? I like that they have a product. Clearly, the marketing does not support their necessary or their revenue needs because they're withdrawing from the treasury, clearly. So I still like, as a project, would I invest in them? Where's the incentive to buy? I don't know. Or those like 111? LOL? Let's see. Which one? We got WTI and we got crude. Brent crude. 103. $106. Yeah, it was not too bad. Pengu is great. I am bullish. Crypto Spaces said, posted another tweet about the oil in the Discord. All right, give me 1 second. Franco said, SHIB SMH dead forever. Ironically, ADA and Sol might be the only viable old alts next cycle. Of course, BNB, maybe Tron, and small handful of others. Only buy new alts when it's time to buy alts. I'm 50-50 on the new alts. I would never condemn a coin based on its age specifically. I think that's silly. But I see what you're saying. Majority of the old ones are going to be trash, but I think they'll still perform. I think it's silly to assume that they wouldn't perform. Income Sharks posted, not only is there not an oil shortage, we are on the path to have largest global surplus in recorded history. U.S. crude oil supply and demand. Interesting. Daily consumption, daily field. That is kind of weird. Will lead to downward pressure on oil prices, potentially breaking key technical levels. It could trigger a cascade of stop losses, accelerating the move lower. Oh, I have been building a monstrosity of a short position on oil. Maybe I should add to it. Let's see. I don't know. Is it just a regular oil short or is it the 2X one? It is SCO, short crude oil. Ultra short Bloomberg crude oil ETF. I don't know. It might be 2X. I don't remember. Yeah, 2X the daily return. Not financial advice. There is a Robinhood link in the description if you guys want to trade. I'm not a fan of Robinhood, but it is what I am available. What's available to me. Crypto Spaces said SHIB is a gamble on a Doge pump, but I'd rather buy Doge. Just confident Elon will send it. Franco said good new alts OFC. Crypto Spaces said I am bullish JJ. Bull run in April. Let's effing go. April I'm not sure about. I would love for that to be the case, but April's my birth month, and I vividly remember for the past 6-7 years, every single birthday performance in the market has been god awful. Hopefully this year is the outlier. Franco said the old alts that remain decent are alts with a lot of stuff built on them, like the ones I mentioned, ETH, etc. See, the problem I have is that you mentioned Tron. I literally have never in my life met a single person that has ever mentioned Tron in the light of using it. Crypto Spaces said, we have a surplus of oil, people. Don't be bearish, people. Don't let the bankers trick you. I mean, that's my whole thing, though. With being bearish, every single downturn has ended up positive over history. Every single one. As long as you are not investing in Hawk Tua coin, you will be fine. I'm not a financial advisor. Here's the thing. If the stock market crashes and doesn't go back up ever, if the crypto market crashes and doesn't go back up ever, you got bigger problems than money. That's my thing. I'm not a financial advisor. Let's continue the news segment. S&P 500 futures erased $550 billion in market cap in 25 minutes as President Trump delivers his address to the nation on the Iran war. Gold prices fall below $4,700 an ounce. Silver prices fell below $73 an ounce. The entire market expected Trump to de-escalate the Iran war. That did not happen. Minutes later, the 10-year note yield is back on its way to 4.4. We expect significant volatility ahead. Tonight's situation is incredibly puzzling. In President Trump's address to the nation just now, he effectively reread many of his recent social media posts out loud, between threatening Iran's power plants, saying that Iran war would last 2 to 3 more weeks, and calling out NATO. There was nothing new. Yet the market is now trading like the Iran war is ramping up for another month-long escalation. Why? Because he didn't explicitly de-escalate. Ironically, President Trump's address to the nation just now has imposed more pressure on the U.S. through the market reaction. The market, which was finally beginning to show some signs of calming, is now highly agitated, with U.S. oil prices back above 104 per barrel, stocks down sharply, and the bond market melting down again. Ironically, President Trump is now back to solving this problem he fixed earlier this week. How will he contain the market? Breaking U.S. oil prices surge above 104 per barrel following President Trump's address to the nation on the Iran war tonight is truly one of the more puzzling nights for investors. U.S. stock market futures extend losses. New low of the day following Trump's speech. Bitcoin fell below 67K as U.S. stock market futures hit a new low of the day. 23 hours ago, big questions tonight. Tons of major news outlets reported the same information ahead of President Trump's address to the nation, sending the market sharply higher. Almost all insider sources signaled Trump would be winding down the war tonight. What just happened? Stocks and oil prices are increasingly moving in the opposite direction. S&P 500 ETF and United States oil ETF have moved in the opposite direction in 38 sessions over the last 50 trading days, the highest in at least 20 years. Correlation between S&P 500 and oil prices is down to negative 0.4, the most negative since July 2025, and approaching the minus 0.5 reading seen in February 2022. Oil and stocks are seeing a historically high negative correlation amid the Iran war. Let's check the chat really quick. Crypto Spaces said, Tron is the craziest scam ever. Franco said, our oil surplus doesn't affect the price of oil as much as fear and greed does, like Strait of Hormuz. Hey, Asians love Tron. Tron hit a new all-time high this cycle. One of the few oldies that did. Crypto Spaces said, Ben Cowan and Jordan are wrong. Chishu said, I'm now remembering some stupid coins like Fartcoin. Seems like it's primed for a pump. LOL. Could fail, though. Dude, Fartcoin's one of my favorites just because of the name. I'm bad with meme coins. Because my brain is so immature, I will buy Fartcoin. Just because it's named Fartcoin. Franco said, in fact, who hit new all-time high? ETH, BNB, sold Tron. Who else? See, the problem I have with Tron is majority of it's held by Justin Sun. So I will never buy it. Crypto Spaces said, Tron reminds me of Luna, LOL, like BNB. I can see where CZ gets the money from. Franco said, Asians use Tron to send USDT, USDC, and so do I. I love Tron. Crypto Spaces said, Fartcoin probably pumps again, Tishu. It's a true meme coin. Everyone loves farts. Everyone does love farts. Franco said, I wouldn't buy Tron, though. I'd probably buy BNB, though, when I buy alts. Okay. Bitcoin, 66,460 and 63 cents. Brent crude oil prices officially surged above 110 a barrel, now up over 7% tonight. That was 21 hours ago. U.S. oil prices above 108 per barrel, now up 25% over the last week. That's nearly $10 a barrel since President Trump's address to the nation last night. China accuses the U.S. and Israel of launching illegal strikes on Iran. This is a sick backdrop. If this is a real picture, whoever set this up is a badass. They know what they're doing. He should rehire them. France's President Macron says it is unrealistic to open Hormuz Strait by force. Macron says President Trump is contradicting himself every day on Iran. Just go get your oil, dude. Don't be a bitch. I'm sorry. I'm 50% French. I think France... I had respect for them until this shit. This is gay. Go get your fucking oil. Don't be a little baby. Iran's IRGC on Trump's Stone Age comment. It is you who are taking your soldiers to their graves, not Iran, whom you seek to drag back to the Stone Age. Hollywood delusions have so poisoned your mindset that, with your paltry 250-year history, you threaten a civilization over 6,000 years old. I'm not touching that. Aren't there ideals like 6,000 years old as well? Am I wrong? Like, do they have freedom? Franco said you're half French. F. I am half French. Yes, I am 50%. My last name is Jacques. What are you talking about? I have the most French name on the planet, Franco. Are you for real? Justin Sun is sketchy. CryptoSpace said, I'd go to BNB over Tron. I agree with you, Franco. Justin's son, literally, like, every billionaire that's like, if you pay $1 million, I'll let you sit down with me for lunch for 30 minutes. He's like, oh, I'm friends with Warren Buffett. I sat down with him and we had a tuna fish salad sandwich, and oh my God, it was so fun. Like, what are you doing, bro? Are you okay? Stop paying for friends. It's weird. Go make friends in real life. I will say, I would much rather invite Justin's son to my house than Richard Hart. Richard Hart looks predatory. Not financial advice. Kamal Karazi, Iran's former foreign minister, has been seriously wounded following U.S.-Israeli strikes on his home that also killed his wife. That's crazy. Has been overseeing talks with Pakistan to arrange a possible meeting between Iranian officials and J.D. Vance. Why? They killed the guy's wife, dude. This is fucked up. U.S. oil prices surge over 10% to 110 a barrel, on track for the highest close since June 2022. Iran's Speaker of Parliament claims that 7 million Iranians have declared that they are ready to join the war against the U.S. and Israel. You come for our home, you are going to meet the whole family, locked, loaded, and standing tall. Bring it on, he says. Iran has told Philippines that it will allow Philippine-bound and Philippine-flagged ships to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. This comes just 9 days after the country declared an energy emergency in one of their worst energy crises in history. U.S. oil prices surge above $112 a barrel, now up 13% on the day. Adam Kobiesi, the man himself. Last night was the most puzzling part of the Iran war yet. Just as oil and bond markets have calmed down, President Trump has sent oil prices soaring again. U.S. oil prices have now risen over $1 an hour since President Trump's speech at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. It began with Iran's president stating they have no enmity towards Americans, and ended with President Trump escalating Iran war, the exact opposite of what we have seen over the last 2 weeks from both sides. It simply does not add up. Was it one last oil long for the road? As U.S. oil prices rise above $112 a barrel, our models indicate that at current levels are sustained for another 2 months. U.S. CPI inflation would rise to 3.6%. This would put U.S. inflation at its highest level since September 2023. Franco said, metal LOL being French was the shit in the 1800s. However, since 1945, not so much. That's what I mean. They at least they're standing their ground a little bit. They're like, you can't use our airspace. 7 million Iranians. Our military is only 4 million, isn't it? Yeah, this war will remain mostly via air. Delicious. Okay. Prior to today's massive rally in oil prices, traders poured a record $977 million into a levered oil short ETF, SCO. That's mine. This marked the fund's largest monthly inflow since its 2008 inception. Now reports of President Trump's winding down the Iran war in his address to the nation have been proven to be false. Retail traders are taking large losses today. Why, though? Why would you close the trade? The S&P 500 erases $830 billion as U.S. markets open for the first time since President Trump's Iran war speech. Watch him. He's going to say something. Watch him say something on Easter that pumps the markets like crazy. The resurrection on the third day. It's very Trump. It would be very Trump. Private credit giant Blue Owl Capital was struck with a mammoth $5.4 billion increase in redemption requests in Q1 2026 per Financial Times. Details include withdrawal requests at Blue Owl's tech lending fund have surged to 40.7% of the fund's $3 billion value. Concerns, have intensified about the health of the private credit market. Requests to exit the firm's marquee $20 billion direct lending fund surged to 21.9% of the fund's value. Blue Owl said it has limited withdrawals to 5% at both vehicles. Private credit markets are under pressure. Wow. 88 said he's going to skid Bondi. Yes, President Trump has informed Attorney General Bondi that her time as Attorney General is nearing its end per semaphore. Dang, I don't know what she did. S&P 500 erases all losses and turns green on the day. What? Oh my gosh, it's almost like all of that was just unnecessary fear. Crazy. Iran and Oman are drafting a protocol to monitor transit through the Strait of Hormuz. Details include Iran says tanker traffic through Hormuz will be supervised and coordinated with Iran and Oman. Iran says these requirements will not mean restrictions, but rather to facilitate and ensure safe passage. This is reportedly a post-war draft and aimed to prevent aggression in the future. Iran says that even in peaceful conditions, traffic should be monitored. It appears Iran is positioning for long-term control of the Strait of Hormuz. Dang. Franco said... Oh, hang on. Yeah. Franco said, why is Kash Patel also the Rams coach Sean McKay? Both have Adderall eyes. Oh, dude, Kash Patel's Adderall eyes is crazy. I'm so glad somebody said that. Adderall eyes are real. You could see the Adderall sweat. It's like gritty, greasy Kash Patel Adderall sweat. It's pretty spooky. I will say, FBI director, regardless of who you are, what you do, if you're the director of the FBI, you should probably take Adderall. They probably got a lot of shit going on, dude. And that also explains the nonsense rambling. He's probably tweaking on all the time. Up on like day 4, the shadow people have begun to appear. All right. Bitcoin's getting a little dumpy here. We are down 0.85%, currently trading at 66,337 and 7 cents. Kobayashi letter 9 hours ago. There is a near perfect correlation between U.S. oil prices and U.S. CPI inflation, as shown in our below analysis. As WTI crude surges above 112 a barrel, we believe the U.S. economy is bracing for 3.5% plus CPI inflation, particularly if current prices persist through April. Asset owners will be the only winners in the long run. Franco said, bro, Google Sean McVay. He's the white Kash Patel. Cash with a C. Whoa. Hang on. Hang on. Kash Patel. Whoa, dude. This freaking guy, man. Wow. That's crazy. Oh boy. Hang on. I'm trying to pull it up here. There's a big ass picture. Ah. Okay, hang on. Bear with me. White Kash Patel, here we come. Oh my gosh, look at his jersey. Dude, that's crazy. All right, ready? Ready? That's pretty close. That's pretty dang close, man. Whoa. I bet you I can make him semi-transparent too. Hang on. What do? I go to properties. Nope. Filters? No. I don't know how to do it. Yeah, they have the same eyes. This is creepy. This is so creepy. He's like Two-Face. Wow. That's McVay pre-Adderall. Look at more recent pics. Is there more recent ones? Who even is this guy? This? Oh, hang on. I gotta get rid of this one. Yeah. Definitely. He's got little hands. Why are his hands so small? Is this I hope this is photoshopped. That man has very freakishly small hands. All right, we're getting sidetracked. Damn you, Franco. That's crazy. Adderall eyes is funny. Okay, hang on. It gets worse. McVay eyes got worse. Okay. Cheers, guys. Happy Thursday. Happy Good Friday. Breaking dated Brent crude oil prices have surged to $141 per barrel, the highest since the 2008 financial crisis. Saudi Arabia is rerouting oil supply away from the blocked Strait of Hormuz at record pace. Dude, Saudi Arabia is the king of this whole conflict. Absolute legends. He has European hands. That's so unfortunate. Adderall hands. Dude, imagine your hands got smaller when you took Adderall. What's happening? Oh no! Have you been taking Adderall? No. Your hands are really tiny. What? What do you mean? Absolutely not. Crude oil shipments from Yanbu, a port on Saudi Arabia's Red Sea coast, are up to 5 million barrels per day, doubling in just 2 weeks. Let's go! This comes as the 746-mile east-west pipeline is now operating at full capacity of 7 million barrels per day. Fucking legends, dude. This is what I've been saying since day one. I'm like, why don't they just pipe it to the other place? This is the best thing in the world. Of this supply, 5 million barrels per day are being exported. 2 million barrels per day are being refined in Saudi. The surge in exports from Yanbu has now offset 45% of the lost Persian Gulf shipments this month. To put this into perspective, exports from this port were just 1 million barrels per day before the war in January and February. Saudi Arabia is actively looking for workarounds to the Hormuz closure. Absolute legends. Iran says the Strait of Hormuz will remain closed long term for both the U.S. and Israel. U.S. oil prices have officially marked their highest close since June 2022. SpaceX has boosted its target IPO valuation to above $2 trillion per Bloomberg. This would make SpaceX bigger than all but 5 companies in the S&P 500. That's pretty big. U.S. household exposure to the stock market has never been higher. Equities now make up 25.63% of total U.S. household net worth, the highest since the data began in the 1940s. This surpasses the 2000 dot-com bubble peak of 19.56% and the 1968 high of 22.01%. The percentage has almost tripled since the 2008 financial crisis low of 8.77%. This means a significant correction in stocks could trigger a sharp pullback in spending, particularly among higher income households who drive a significant part of consumption. Consumer expenditures currently represent around 69% of U.S. GDP, near an all-time high. The U.S. economy has never been more dependent on the stock market performance. This is what frightens me the most, I think. If U.S. household exposure, retail, is the highest it's ever been, and it's freaking 25%, that's pretty spooky to me. Because we're not meant to win in the stock market. We're not. That's just how it is. And our numbers far are dwarfed significantly by the big players. Lunar Entity said he has European hands. Silas Speaks is a great channel if you're like tinfoil. He also does an in-depth breakdown of iPetGo 2. Okay, I gotta watch this actually, because I watched that video. That video was crazy, dude. I had like an existential crisis after I watched that. My fiance was like, I love it. That's so good. And I was like, you're not freaking out? What are you talking about? Silas Speaks. Okay, yeah, I'll check this out. Very cool. All right, appreciate it, Lunar Entity. Let's go check the 10-year, since we're talking. Okay, big red candle. Minus 1.67%, 4.3. Let's go. All right. Bitcoin chilling. I like that we're not breaking down according to this fractal. I do like that. So if we can maintain... I guess the only thing that spooks me a little bit is if I was trying to sell this to you, you got your big lump, and then 2 baby bumps, and then downtrend. 2 baby bumps, and then downtrend. Hopefully that's not what's playing out, but we'll see. Maybe this is in need of a stretch. I don't know. I'm still not entirely sold on this being the bottom. My eyes are on 51.5, but we'll see. Strange times indeed, my friend. Strange times indeed. Breaking, the U.S. will likely target more bridges in Iran after conducting the first strike on an Iranian bridge today, just hours after President Trump threatened to bomb the country Back to the Stone Age. Details include Trump has said the U.S. could conduct such attacks to punish the Iranian government if it won't cut a deal. U.S. defense officials claim the strike on the bridge was conducted for military purposes to prevent the IRC from moving weapons across the bridge. The Iranian mission is to the UN said that the attack on the bridge was part of a series of U.S.-Israeli attacks or strikes against civilian targets in Iran. Iran's foreign minister says striking civilian structures, including unfinished bridges, would not convince Iran to surrender. The Iran war appears to be escalating again. Bricker said, where does SpaceX revenue come from? U.S. government? Yes, they get big contracts from the government. There was a big ordeal with Blue Origin and SpaceX a while ago. SpaceX was awarded some big contract that Blue Origin was trying to get as well, which is Elon versus Bezos, which I thought was really funny because Bezos was the first richest man in modern history, and then Elon dwarfed him significantly and has held the title since. And SpaceX was awarded this funding, and I think Bezos literally filed a formal complaint, basically begging them to give them both contracts. He was wanted it so bad. He's like, please, I need some money too. He can still have money, but can you give me money too? And I thought it was kind of funny. Lunar said SpaceX is funded by Elon taking ODTE trades daily. I'm not sure what that is. My information about the funding was a long time ago. I don't know if it's still like that. Let me actually look it up. SpaceX versus Blue Origin government contract. It was SpaceX currently dominates government contracts over Blue Origin, securing $5.9 billion for 28 national security space launch phase 3 missions through 2029. Blue Origin clinched $2.4 billion for 7 missions. SpaceX's proven operational cadence with Falcon 9 leads military launch orders, while Blue Origin's New Glenn enters the NSSL market as a newer competitor. I don't remember. The one that I'm thinking of is from years ago. Maybe even, I don't know. It was from a long time ago. I just remember laughing at it because it was Elon versus Bezos. Franco said, so SpaceX, like PLTR, will be big stock that makes money from government. Yes. Crypto Spaces said space travel is cool. The new shots of Earth are cool. Lunar said, wonder if Anthropic is cooked. I'm so upset about Anthropic, dude. I want them to do good because I think that they have a superior product. And the biggest tell for me is literally Venezuela versus Iran. And they might be complete different scenarios, but it just seems so silly to me that we switched from Anthropic to OpenAI and suddenly everything's going wrong because OpenAI sucks ass. And there's so many studies showing that OpenAI can literally their artificial intelligence essentially triggers psychosis, making people think that they're gods because it just agrees with them and jerks them off all day. It's stupid. It's yes, you're so good and smart at everything. I'm wrong. All the information I'm presenting to you is wrong. U.S. government job openings are falling. Government job openings dropped 51K in February to 701,000, the second lowest since December 2020. Since the 2022 peak, available vacancies in the government have dropped 524K and are now in line with pre-pandemic levels. Furthermore, federal government job openings fell 3,000 to 89K, the second lowest since the 2020 pandemic low. This is also in line with the lows recorded in 2017 and 2018. Meanwhile, the government hiring rate stood at 1.4%, one of the lowest levels since mid-2020, matching 2016 and 2017 lows. Government hiring is frozen. It should be. If I can't afford day-to-day life, why do I need to be paying more taxes? Keep decreasing that government hiring. Gasoline reached over $4 in April, according to our independent gasoline index, which aggregates multiple price data sources both nationally and by state. All right. Crypto Spaces said cloud is taking over completely. You saw that guy is becoming a billionaire with his brother and just 20K. I did not. That sounds crazy though. Brecker said, who makes cloud again? I believe that's Anthropic. Lunar said, Lloyd's of London continues to hold Hormuz hostage via insurance markets. One call from an underwriter on an afternoon and everything stopped. That's crazy. Alert. U.S. 30-year mortgage rates rose for a fifth straight week to 6.46%, the highest since September 2025. No one is ever going to buy a house ever again. Thank you, President Trump. Circle just announced Sur BTC, a 1-to-1 Bitcoin-backed token with on-chain verifiable reserves built to move seamlessly across DeFi. That's actually kind of genius. I actually quite like that. The Trump administration has sued Illinois to block its regulation of prediction markets, arguing it interferes with federal authority per Reuters. Oh, damn. What? You better let my people gamble. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink said oil at $150 per barrel could trigger a global recession. What? How did he come to that conclusion? We should make this guy a CEO or something. Wow. What a genius. Expensive gas would lead to a recession? Whoa, I never thought of that. Holy crap. Wow, Larry Fink is a smart fellow. CryptoSpaces said use AI to sell weight loss products. Awesome stuff. It's so funny if we flip bullish, everyone will love Trump again. I don't think so. I've said before, I'll say it again. I think all politicians are useless. Just useless. They're so incredibly useless on all fronts. Unless they benefit my day-to-day life. I have yet to be detrimented for my day-to-day life, except for right now, Donald Trump making my gas $5 a gallon is negatively affecting my day-to-day life. So, as far as I'm concerned, at the exact moment, fuck Donald Trump. Now, when I receive a big fat check from him, or he pumps my bags, he can be great again. That's totally fine. But right now, I'm not a fan. I think he's a piece of shit. He's done nothing to benefit me. Zero. Have to fully rewire my brain. Lunar Entity said the current gold oil ratio suggests 250. 250 is crazy. OpenAI brings ChatGPT to Apple CarPlay, enabling voice mode access on the go for iPhone users running iOS 26.4 plus. That's actually kind of cool. I like the vehicle interfaces, I do. BlackRock's iBit now trades 16 to 18 billion daily, rivaling Binance and doubling Coinbase's volumes. Coinbase's got to catch up, man. Nikita Beer says large accounts with over 10,000 followers launching meme coins without crypto history will face verification. Thank God. You guys remember it wasn't Venezuela, was it Argentina? Libra, the stupid meme coin that started the whole cascade. Lunar said, you don't want to adjust that for inflation? It'd be even better. Yeah, I'm good. Looking like the markets are waking up a little bit with a minor positive start to Good Friday. Now that the stock market's shut up for the weekend. CryptoSpaces said you are right, though. If you voted for him, it should be benefit to... I don't care who I voted for. They're the sitting president of the country that I reside in. If they don't benefit me, I don't care. If they are a detriment to my day-to-day, I hate them. If they benefit me, amazing. I received a big fat check from Donald Trump during his first term. Thank you. That was cool. However, Joe Biden did outplay him. I received a big fat check from Joe Biden in Biden's first term, and Biden forgave $14,000 in student loans of mine. From 2012, my school doesn't exist anymore. The credits are non-transferable, and I was being made to pay $14,000 on student loans, to which I did not benefit from at all whatsoever. And those were forgiven. That's $14,000. I have yet to receive an equivalent from Donald Trump. If he pumps my bags, or if Donald Trump's current term ends and I am net positive with my investments, then I will call them break even. But for now, Biden has significantly outperformed Trump as far as my day-to-day goes. Lunar Entity said MAGA spelled backwards is Agam, which in Hebrew means swamp or marsh. We are being drained, apparently. Oh, shit. That's actually really good. He's draining us. Whoa. All right. Bitcoin holders face around 600 billion in unrealized losses as around 44% of supply sits underwater near 66K. Crazy. Canada's new stablecoin framework will require issuers to maintain one-to-one reserves, register with the Bank of Canada, and offer at-par redemption. Full regulations expected to come into force in 2027. What does the Bank of Canada guy have to say about this? It's been a long time since I've even thought about that. That's pretty funny, though. SpaceX is targeting a valuation of more than $2 trillion for its upcoming IPO, which would make it bigger than all but 5 companies in the S&P 500 per Bloomberg. Very cool. Mark Chadwick, the permable, one of our faves, wondering why crypto hasn't gone parabolic yet? This chart couldn't make it any more obvious. Crypto bull markets follow the business cycle, not a 4-year cycle. PMI above 50, expansion, trends up. PMI below 50, contraction, stalls. Here's what most people aren't paying attention to. PMI just printed its first 3 straight months above 50 in years. Last time was mid-2020. It took a few months to build, and then Bitcoin went from 9K to 69K. Alts followed after and went literally vertical. Same setup. Let the simulation do its thing. It's just a matter of time. Let's go. Let's go, boys. I'm ready. Franco, I don't know if you're still here. If you are, not financial advice. At least have a moon bag. Being fully unexposed scares me. And I want you to ride to Valhalla with us, no matter when it happens. Cheers. Not financial advice, though. 88 said Trump changed a few things that benefit the kids. I will say, the Trump account thing I think is huge. I actually really like the Trump account thing. I like the Trump account thing. I like him trying. He seems like he's trying to make things affordable. Right now, the war is effing things up. If the war had never happened, I would say he's doing a fantastic job because he did genuinely, he brought mortgage rates down for a short period. Inflation was trending down significantly. Everything was working in favor of the little man. And then he ruined it with Iran. So, Crypto Spaces said, let's effing go April bull run. We'll celebrate JJ birthday in style. Hell yeah. Maybe we'll do a 12-hour birthday stream, not on my birthday, but around it. MSB Intel just in. South Korea launches nationwide fuel conservation campaign, urging citizens to ration energy and take public transit as oil prices surge 12% to $112 per barrel. Goldman Sachs holds its $5,400 an ounce gold target for year-end while flagging a $3,800 downside scenario if Iran supply disruptions escalate, representing a 19% decline from 4,676 spot. They're targeting 54. Gold is currently sitting at 46.76. I like it. 54 actually sounds great. Let's do it. Lunar Entity said, is that it? Curious to see how it plays out daily, weekly. What? Ooh. Come on. How do I do the plus thing? All right. Let's see. What have I done? This is daily. That would be pretty sick. That would be pretty sick. Bank of America U.S. High Yield Index Option Adjusted Spread. We've got correlation, or I guess negative correlation technically. Let's see. We got dip and all-time high. What is that? How did I do that? We've got dip and all-time high. Man, you think it's done already? There is a clear trend. There's a very, very clear trend here. Like, it's for sure decreasing over time, while Bitcoin specifically increases over time, which is great. But is that time correlation enough? It looks really good. I don't know if it's going to go higher, though. Is it going to hit that trend line? That trend line's not really reliable. We never touched it anywhere near here. Maybe, I don't know. Crypto Spaces said, I'm still a Trump fan. He's a capitalist, and I'm also get the bread for you and yours as long as it's legal enough. I just want my day-to-day to not be effective, because I know the macro is never going to change. 4 years, even 8 years is not enough for a president to make a difference. And I don't even think the president really does anything. I will say it seems like Trump is the first president to figure out that he can do things that actually cause an immediate change. That's pretty cool. Because before it definitely seemed like a puppet master situation where there was somebody else or a group of people in the background pulling the strings. And maybe even not with bad intentions, or maybe not from some like cabal scenario. Maybe it was just like Congress or whatever. But Trump seems like he's doing things that affect the country. It seems like a president is sitting and doing stuff that affects the country, which blows my mind, because I don't think I've ever seen that in my entire life. The problem is, I think he has an ego, and I think that ego pushes him to say things like Jerome Powell is a big dumb idiot, and then we don't get rate cuts when we should, and then he's bombing Iran and he can't step away because he feels stupid and silly, or Israel bombs Iran, or whatever happened with that scenario. You know, I think the ego is affecting his bottom line. And that's just my opinion. I'm speculating. I'm not really fully invested in it, to be honest. But when people ask, that's just my feelings. That would be sick if this is topped out for good. That would be awesome. Daily and the weekly. Weekly looks even better. There's like a swooping kind of trend going on where it's kind of flatlining. Huh. There's definitely been a significant downtrend since 2008. This was an anomaly. I'm going to consider this an anomaly, and since then we've had like spikes that come to an end. If you go on the weekly, that trend line actually looks great. The weekly looks perfect. Oh, come on. That would be so sick. Crypto Spaces said if Powell cut rates, he wouldn't be called that. Haha. It also helps our bags. Trump has done nothing to help my bags. That I can guarantee. Trump has done zero to help my bags. So far. Okay. Man, that's a beautiful bottoming candle on gold. Silver's 50-50. Lunar Entity said people honestly thought the global financial system was going to collapse in 2008. I mean, I can see why. I don't remember any of that. I was a kid. I was literally a kid. I don't remember my parents talking about any kind of anything at all, which I'm thankful for. But it's terrifying to think about now as an adult man. I'm like, damn, what was going on back then? 88 said he's helped some of my oil stock holdings. There you go. See, if I was an oil baron, I'd be celebrating, singing his praises. But I'm not. I'm invested in everything that hasn't benefited. Okay. Crypto Fergani, another permable. I'm buying. The bottom is in. I didn't get a character. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm buying. The bottom is in. Bookmark this. I just got off the craziest call of my life. I can't share names or locations for obvious reasons, but let's just say the people I spoke to move markets. The short version, a massive, possibly multi-trillion-dollar liquidity injection is coming within 30 days. Central banks, sovereign funds, tech giants, everyone is coordinating. It's not quantitative easing, it's something new. AI-driven, data-triggered liquidity releases designed to flood digital assets first. This is the reset moment. When they hit execute, Bitcoin won't walk up, it'll teleport. Write this down, 30 days, 1000% move. I'll keep you updated on everything with detailed analysis, followed with notifications on so you don't miss anything. All caps as well. All caps, by the way. I should have screamed it. My neighbors called the police. My downstairs neighbor is screaming finance bro stuff. No, crypto bro has all 5. A relationship, friends IRL, healthy diet, job, good sleep schedule. This is going to be the next poll. Current poll I'm going to end. Bookmark it. I asked you guys, do you think the ISMPMI theory will play out again this time? 49% said yes, always does. 17% said no, arbitrary theory. 17% said yes, delayed fuse. And 17% said no, AI skewed the data. Let's go next poll. This one's exciting. Which one do you not have? We've got a relationship, friends, IRL. Let's do relationship / IRL friends. Healthy diet. A job. And a good sleep schedule. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the poll in the chat. Which one do you not have? Relationship / IRL friends, a healthy diet, a job, or a good sleep schedule? Let me know. I think if you asked the broader crypto community, unfortunately, most of them would say they do not have a job. And I think that that's the biggest detriment to probably crypto as a whole. Everyone's trying to trench. Everyone's trying to trench, and they're trying to make the next big $1 million trade. And they're all PvPing. Everyone's trading the same 20, 30 bucks. And then they all think it's a scam, and they're relying on this. So they're like pulling their hair out, trying to make it work, but they don't have a foundation. They don't have a backup plan. They don't have a safety net. They don't have that John Goodman position of fuck you that he talks about in that beautiful quote, by the way. You need your position of F you. You need a paying job, good or bad. Walmart managers, by the way, make like $126,000 a year, in case you didn't know. You need a paying job, and that is your foundation. If your trading interferes with your job, then you should not be trading. I'm not a financial advisor. That's just my opinion. I started with my job. I made myself irreplaceable. If I left my job or I was removed from my job, the company that I work for would literally cease to exist. Make yourself irreplaceable at work and then focus on building your wealth. What's the stupid quote from J.L. Collins? This is my favorite. I know I harp on this so much, but it's so simple and it's so good. Avoid debt, live on less than what you earn, and invest the surplus. Wise words from a wise man. The book is very redundant, though. But if you guys are interested, the link is... Or maybe I've removed the link. Just go download the audiobook. It's free when you have Amazon Prime. It's called The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. It's a good book. Lord Entity said good sleep schedule is a unicorn. Also, this is the first time in HYG spread history that the weekly has rejected at the 200 EMA. From 1997 to 2026, it has never rejected at the 200 EMA before. Dang, that's crazy. Guys might be right. Spreads look tired. Crypto Bro's sad day. Last year, he made stocks do extremely well. That is true. Donald Trump did make the stock market do very well last year. I will give him that. His first year, everything performed wonderfully. And maybe he takes credit for that, maybe not. Regardless, he looks like the one that can take credit for that. Because who else would? You know what I mean? So far, he's 1 for 1. Or 1 and 1. And we're not that far in. We just finished Q1. Q1 just closed. So he's got Q2, 3, 4 for year 2. Is year 2 going to be a boom or a bust? It's way too early to tell. So far, it sucks. But that can change very, very quickly. It just takes one post. One post on Truth Social. What a weird, janky-ass market we found ourselves in. Bitcoin down 0.36%, currently trading at $66,656.62. We're getting a little bit of green in the market here. Are we going to see a proper recovery or more downside? We will have to wait and see. I'm a little bothered that we have tokenized gold and silver and nobody trades it. Like, is the volume that low on those things? Crypto Spaces said it does suck, but April is here, baby. I will say, we did ask Grok. Springtime is the best when it comes to investing. It is the best performer. Best performer. Which I never would have guessed. All right. Crypto Fergani also posted. Excuse me. What is happening in alts versus Bitcoin is getting crazy. The next 3 to 6 months will create a record number of millionaires. The crypto market will begin a terrifying rally. Excuse me. The crypto market will begin a terrifying rally right before the largest recession in history. The MACD has stayed green for 4 consecutive months in a row for the first time in 6 years. Last time this happened, 2020. What followed wasn't a rally, it was insanity. 100x was normal. Some did far more. The masses didn't see this. The masses don't see this. Understand that, and you'll beat 95% of investors. Follow me, as next I'll share my list of coins I'm looking at. Many people will regret not following me. By the way, whenever he says this, he never shares the next list of coins. And the only reason I know is because I search him randomly. Like, for the news segment, I try to get everyone's point of view. I go through like legitimate news sources and stuff, and then I just search Bitcoin and altcoins, and whatever topical ones I see, I grab. Sometimes there's nothing, and I go to ones that I know, like Crypto Fergani or MSB Intel or Bull Theory, and I pick from them. And I see Crypto Fergani post this crap, and I never see a list of altcoins. So he's full of crap. It is kind of funny though. Lunar Entity said the City of London has done a fantastic job at making the U.S. military weak by keeping the strait to close. The city of... insurance underwriters paralyzed everything in a single day, and until they let up, it's going to stay closed. In the Gulf War, they didn't do this. Interesting. Breaking, Coinbase just announced live on Fox. Bitcoin and crypto market structure deal in the next 48 hours. Markup within weeks confirmed. Every bank waiting for this. Every institution waiting for this. Every trillion on the sidelines waiting for this. 48 hours, the countdown has started. Let's go. Maybe that's it. He's part of the stream now at this point. Who, Fergani? He's got to. Yeah, we got to make him a regular. I agree. Let's do it. Let's do it. 250,000. Let's go. Crypto Rover, altcoins sell pressure hits highest levels ever. Highest levels ever. Folks be selling. Now, this should not be a surprise. Unfortunately, a lot of metrics like this can't really be utilized because there's, like, what did they say, 3 million altcoins? People are going to be selling them, you know? Like, we could see the top 100 stay solid, like rock solid. And I bet you this would still be just as bad because outside of the top 100, people are just selling, you know? It's crazy. So metrics like this, it's sort of unreliable. S&P 500 taking a big fat dump 15 hours ago, on track for its 10th consecutive red Thursday, the longest streak in history. Arbitrary. Crude oil on track for highest closing price since June 2022. Crazy stuff. We got our coin confessions. I'm 16 years old, and last year I made around $200,000 in crypto. I'm thinking of not going to college and learning as much as I can about crypto before the next bull run and make a lot of money. If you are an entrepreneur, I feel like you can make that work. Unfortunately, I think a lot of these kids get the wrong impression and they utilize not so legal practices, but maybe, who am I? Maybe I'm wrong. I scream on X every day because I know deep down it's all I can do and I can't trade. See, these people give up too early too. You gotta believe in yourself, man. Right now, all I have is $4,000. My work ethic is unmatched. I will outperform all of you reading this. Not too greedy. When I come back, I will surpass 100K. That right there is the mindset to have. I love that. That's beautiful. What a legend. BRICS news. Russia, China, and France blocks United Nations plan to authorize force in the Strait of Hormuz. Wow. Mario Nafwal posted Seymour Hersh. This guy's a very, very outspoken fearmongerer on X, by the way. Just take it with a grain of salt. Seymour Hersh, the journalist who correctly predicted the bombing of Iran's nuclear facilities and broke the Nord Stream story, says Trump's speech was a ground war announcement. Trump was telling the world that the ground war is on as of today. Thousands of Navy SEALs and Army Rangers are either en route or soon will be to zones within striking range of the Strait of Hormuz. He says Trump could have 50,000 fighters ready to clear the strait or dig out enriched uranium from tunnels under the nuclear sites. Hersh has one of the best track records in investigative journalism. He doesn't say things like this casually. If he's right, then Trump's speech wasn't about ending the war. It was about starting the next phase of it. One the public hasn't been told about yet. I think that we know, though. I think that we have been told. I think everyone's been saying this for a really long time. I'll take it, though. So, we'll have to see what happens. Since it's been so long, let's go see if Kobayashi Litter has any updates for us. Yes, they do. Forward-looking data points to further increase in U.S. unemployment. The gap between consumers says jobs are plentiful versus hard to find is down to just 5.8 points in March, the lowest since the 2020 pandemic. This comes as just 27.3% of consumers say jobs are plentiful, down from 55% in 2022. At the same time, 21.5% say jobs are hard to find, up from 10% over the same period. Historically, this measure has been one of the most reliable leading indicators of rising unemployment. Furthermore, current levels in this indicator have only been seen prior to or during a U.S. recession since the 1990s. The job market is set for even more weakness. What do you guys think? Universal basic income? 50% of Iran's missile launchers and thousands of attack drones remain intact and in Iran's arsenal despite daily U.S.-Israeli strikes. U.S. intelligence also shows a large percentage of Iran's coastal defense cruise missiles intact, allowing them to keep the Strait of Hormuz closed. Dang. Well, Bitcoin looks okay. Let's see where it takes us, man. I'm strapped up, strapped on, strapped in, ready to go. Lunar Entity said 7 members of the International Group of Protection and Indemnity Club issued 72-hour cancellation notices on March 1st. All 12 followed. The international group covers 90% of global shipping. Without their backing, a vessel becomes an economic pariah. Ports refuse entry. Cargoes go unloaded. Banks withhold financing. Charters evaporate. That's terrifying. Damn, 67%. We got 6 votes. We got 13 people watching, though. Can we get more votes in the poll in the chat? I'm going to say what mine is. I asked you guys, which one do you not have? Your options are a relationship / IRL friends. You can have one or the other. A healthy diet, a job, or a good sleep schedule. I do not have IRL friends. I feel like a healthy diet. I think all I have in this list is a job. A job and a relationship. I have no IRL friends. I have not a healthy diet, but that's by choice. I don't really give a shit. My sleep schedule is garbage. I'm the most degenerate person. Yeah, I guess that's not true. Most degens probably have none of these, if we're being real. But I do feel pretty degenerate. There's 3 out of 5. What is that? 60? I don't know. CryptoSpaces said Coinbase has unveiled X402 agents will outpurchase humans, so yes, UBI. Why humans needed advertisers just need agents to buy stuff from now on? Ooh, is marketing going to take a hit? Dang. That's actually a really good idea. Should we short marketing firms? What industries do you think are most likely to suffer from AI? Is marketing at risk? If you were to plan a 5+ year portfolio to considering AI displacement, what would that look like? I don't expect a 5-year plus portfolio to have any short positions in it. But if marketing is going to be out, marketing is huge right now. Marketing is probably like 60% of spending, corporate spending. I'm making that up, but I would not be surprised. And especially if they can show you tangible results. I feel like companies are so insecure nowadays. They're like, oh, well, I'm paying you for advertising. Are people actually seeing it? And you're like, dude, it's a billboard. Millions of cars drive past us every single day. Yes, they're seeing it. What do you want from me? Well, can you prove it to me? I just don't really want to spend the money if no one's seeing it. It's annoying. Now with everything digital, you can prove. 1,000,000 people clicked on this link. You got 500,000 sales out of it. Tangible results. If an AI agent can take that even further, then there's no need for me to pay you $10 million a year or whatever as a marketing firm. The insecurity, I feel, will always outperform. And what's great about artificial intelligence is it's already really, really good at making everyone feel so good about themselves. You're so smart. Yes, you're right. I was wrong. My bad. You're the smartest person ever. What you said was actually the truth and it was real. And I, as an artificial intelligence, was not aware of that. And thank you for letting me know. You are God. I'll hail you. And then the person using it is like, oh, stop it. They're all blushing and shit. Lunar Entity said Colonel Sanders shot men dead over billboard vandalism. Advertising was serious business, apparently. Oh yeah, dude, marketing has always blown my mind. Because, to me, word of mouth is the best marketing. But I'm also come from like a very old-fashioned business where we pay for zero advertising. The company that I work for pays for zero advertising. And we make a ton of money. Crypto Spaces said I'll share the billionaire guy. What's the billionaire guy? Bitcoin 66, 638 and 89 cents. Some alts are waking up a little bit, but it's bleak. HBAR looks okay. HBAR cures cancer, guys. Don't forget. DXY trying to decide if it wants to hold 100. In Discord, the AI did the marketing thing. Oh, okay. All right, let's check this out. See, now this stuff like this with the AI, this is selling so many Mac Minis and stuff like that. This is genius level of marketing. Mac Minis were not being sold at all. Nobody gave a crap about it. But somebody somewhere said, oh, I need a Mac Mini to set up my Claude bot and it reads my emails. And then everybody ran with it. They're like, oh my gosh, you have to set up a Claude bot. You have to buy a Mac Mini. They started flying off the shelves. So that right there, genius level marketing. Same with this. This guy's probably trying to sell you something. And you don't even know it. This is crazy. A guy just built a $1.8 billion company with 2 employees, him and his brother, using AI. Matthew Gallagher started Medv from his house in Los Angeles, spent $20K in 2 months. That's the problem. You need $20K. AI wrote the code. AI made the website. AI made the ads. AI handled customer service. First month, 300 customers. Second month, 1,000 more. First full year, $401 million in sales. This year, on track for $1.8 billion. His only hire, his younger brother. That's the entire company. The New York Times verified the numbers. $65 million profit last year. More than $3 million coming in every single day. Now compare this. Hims and Hers sells weight loss drugs online. 42 employees. $2 billion revenue, 5.5% profit margin. This guy is doing nearly the same with 2 people and triple the margins. He grew up living in motels and cars, taught himself to code on a laptop his uncle gave him, sold samurai swords on eBay as a teenager, didn't finish college, moved to LA to become an actor. Now he's running the fastest growing company nobody has heard of. When his website broke during a hike, he had to sprint home because there was nobody else to fix it. Lost 200 customers in 1 hour. That's the reality of a 2-person company doing $1.8 billion. A VC told him don't raise money. He listened. Zero outside funding. He owns 100% of it. 2 brothers, $20K, a laptop, and every AI tool they could get their hands on. That's all it took. $20,000 is a lot of money. What do you mean that's all it took? Get the heck out of here. Oh, he's got one of those tattoos, the lines all over him. That's sick though, dude. This is a cool grassroots story. I love this. This is awesome. I feel like a lot of the people that are incredibly successful with coding and stuff like that are people that had access to a computer and nothing else. They were bored as hell and they got access to technology. The reason I got into technology is because I was bored as hell at home. I didn't have internet. My sister gave me her laptop that one day. I fixed it up, and I had a computer. I could play computer games. When I realized that you can tweak the physical hardware and improve the digital experience, it blew my mind. And now I do a little bit of everything. It's not like some billionaire story, but I can build my own damn computer. I can fix my phone screen. I got side gigs coming on my ass that all have to do with that stuff. It pays really, really well, and it consumes almost no time. That's a sick story. That's a really cool story. I feel like with the right amount of motivation, you can literally accomplish anything, especially today with AI tools. All right. Snack at midnight doing 2%ers. Bitcoin's red for some reason. Still. Dominance dropping. DXY turning green. Like I said, 3-day weekend tomorrow. The market will not be trading because it is Good Friday. So either expect extreme volatility or nothing at all whatsoever. Industries most likely to suffer from AI are those heavy on routine cognitive data processing or repetitive analytical tasks. Generative AI agents excels is backed by 2025-26 Goldman Sachs, blah, blah, blah. Administrative clerical office, highest risk data entry secretaries, database admins, and routine paperwork are highly automatable, often 60% plus of tasks. Many reports flag this as the fastest declining area. Customer service, customer service is done. Finance and banking, back office analysis risk, financial managers, 84% of tasks impacted. Accountants, underwriters, and reconciliation roles. IT/software development and data roles. Programmers, web developers, database. I don't know if these ones are as at risk as they think. There's going to need to be somebody verifying it. I don't remember who said it. Was it Bezos? Somebody recently was like, if it was Jensen Huang. He said, if you're firing employees because of AI, then you're doing it wrong. He's like, we've hired so many more people because of AI. And I'm like, yeah, that's actually a good point. Legal, routine document review, contract analysis, and basic research, 63% exposure. Transformation is rapid. Manufacturing and production, logistics, supply chain, moderate, high routine, assembly, forecasting, yeah. Physical, hands-on, variable, or empathy-driven work, plumbing, nursing, teaching, mining operators, faces the lowest risk. AI augments these, but doesn't replace human judgment, dexterity in unpredictable settings, or interpersonal elements. Is marketing at risk? Yes, substantially, especially for task-heavy or junior roles. Anthropic's analysis pegs 65% of marketing professional tasks as eventually replaceable. Content generation, segmentation, A/B testing, basic strategy drafting, analytics, and ad creative. Job postings in marketing have already dropped 7% year over year in some 2025 data. Over a third of CMOs plan headcount cuts in the next 1 to 2 years as AI shifts teams toward oversight and strategy. That said, it's not total replacement. Deep creativity, brand intuition, ethical judgment, cultural nuance, and high-stakes strategy still needs humans. Many experts frame it as AI won't replace marketers. It will replace bad ones or expose those who don't adapt. By 2026, 75% plus of companies using AI marketing expect to elevate roles to more strategic work. Okay, good for them. 5+ year portfolio, energy and utilities, healthcare, industrials and infrastructure, semiconductors and AI hardware enablers, consumer staples, defensive, materials, commodities, or real assets, cash bonds, broad market. Interesting. So the biggest chunk is energy and utilities. Yeah, that makes sense. I like it. I like it. See what happens, man. All right, let's check this poll. Yeah, we still suck at 6 votes. I'm going to end it. I asked you guys, which one do you not have? 67% of you guys said a relationship/IRL friends. 33% said good sleep schedule. I feel like those are both very relatable. Nobody said healthy diet or a job. All right. Well, it's 11:40. Tomorrow's Good Friday. I'm still going to work, so Gotta get that fiat. So, as always, when the market starts to do anything crazy, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Happy Thursday and good night.